Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Digital Asset Sensei coming to you once again on the channel Kung Tech Fu to learn how to do crypto kung fu all day long, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I am here to do. We are here to learn how to earn. We are here to learn how to become our own bank, how to become our own hedge fund, and how to take full self-sovereignty over our financial assets. But I'm not just here to give you a bunch of concepts. I'm here to actually show you how this thing works, ladies and gentlemen, not just in the physical realm, but also in the mental realm of how you are thinking and looking at these things. So before we go ahead and get along with this, guys, I'm just going to ask you to go on down and smash that like and subscribe button. We're still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers here, and we need to go ahead and get more subscribers so that we can go ahead and monetize this channel and do the things that we like to do. So go on ahead and drop kick that subscribe button and back fist the like button, and we're going to continue to go on and go forth. And I'm going to give you the tools so that you can actually take action and actually change your financial condition, because we are here to learn how to stop being consumers. As long as you are a consumer, you will remain in perpetual poverty. Or if you are already financially independent, then you're already at the third stage where you will learn here how to keep your money, because the first thing is to get the money, the second thing is to grow the money, and the third thing is to keep the money while continuing to rinse and repeat, ladies and gentlemen. So before we move along, we're going to play a quick clip, ladies and gentlemen, just to set the tone. All right. And I believe I already have it queued up, so let's go on in.
The bet that I'm making is that it's going to be larger than it is today. It's going to be a lot larger. And, I bring up this point a lot, but I'll make it again, is that, Bitcoin now is 18 years old. That means if you're going to college today, you don't remember a time before Bitcoin existed. Yeah. Now, Ethereum is 10 years old, all right? That means, you were 8 years old. If you're entering college today, you were 8 years old when Ethereum was created, right? Which, when I was 8 years old, I didn't know anything about money or the economics or finance or any of that shit. And so, give it another 10 years. Ethereum will be 20 years old. Bitcoin will be 28 years old. These things will become boring. And the people who are totally accustomed to this, you and I, but even the generation after us, they're going to look at all these assets as being obvious. Yeah. And as they step into the halls of power, and as they start being the allocators of capital, to them, this stuff is going to be mundane. Of course you're going to own some Bitcoin. Of course you're going to own some ETH. Right. The people today, I talk to allocators literally for half of what I do is go and talk to allocators, right? These are people who run the biggest endowments, the biggest institutions in the world, and there are always someone on their board, someone at the foundation, someone on the investment committee who's just like, Bitcoin's a scam. I don't believe this stuff. This is not real. This is a bubble. This is going to go away. Yeah. Right? Those people will die.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, what he means by that is people think that blockchain is a scam. They don't realize what the smart money is doing. They don't realize where the world is going, because Larry Fink continues to tell us of BlackRock that, let's just go here very quickly. Larry Fink continues to tell us of the CEO of BlackRock, okay? Blackstone, Goldman Sachs, these are just all aspects of BlackRock, all right? And all of the big players, Wisdom Tree, Franklin Templeton, they are all telling you the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. Everything, as far as ownership is concerned, tokenized assets are everything is going on chain, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Larry Fink continues to tell you that. All right, and if we look over here at the national debt, you see that 39 trillion and counting, and that number is not slowing down. And basically what that national debt means, as these numbers continue to rise, the purchasing power of your dollar continues to get weaker and weaker, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, every dollar in your pocket, not only is it not real, but its purchasing power is only 3 cents, ladies and gentlemen. soon to be 2 cents, soon to be 1 cent, soon to be 0, soon to be -1, -2, -3, and so on and so forth. So as we continue to move into the future, ladies and gentlemen, where will you be? And that's what he meant by when he said those people will die. Because all of the people, even the people that did everything they were supposed to do, you know, you went to your mother and father's alma mater, you know, you went to an Ivy League school, you've got a Harvard degree and this, that, and the other. It doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not on chain, if you don't get a ticket to ride so that you can access the global markets, you will die. Because everything that you're relying on, the resources of where you usually get your resources will have moved on chain. And if you don't move on chain with it, then you will also perish, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so with that, once again, this is the Sensei. This is the Digital Asset Sensei. I am a professional blockchain portfolio manager, ladies and gentlemen, where I not only educate people on blockchain and give you the recipe and or the template of how you can put your pennies next to the big dollars and gain some dollars of your own. I am showing you the actual recipe of what to do. And in order for you to enter blockchain, you're going to need some wallets, ladies and gentlemen. Now you see over here, we've got some wallets. We've got the Rabby wallet. We've got MetaMask. We've got Phantom. We got the Near wallet. We've got the Slush wallets for Sui, of course. You got the Zoto wallet for Zcash. You got VWorld for VChain. You got the Dash wallet. You got WebAuth for XPR. You got the Lobster wallet for Stellar XLM. And you got the Zaman wallet for XRP and or the XRP Ledger. We've got the Bifrost wallet there for Flare. We've got Jupiter for Solana. We've even got the Doge wallet, the official Doge wallet sitting there. And we've got the C8 wallet for the Canton network. And then we got some other stuff going on here too, where, you know, the Elite wallet for Cosmos Atom. The OKX wallet we just recently added. We've even got the Cake wallet for Monero. And I'm just giving you some examples, because wallets is how you have your own repository so that you can interact with the blockchain, okay? Because primarily what you're doing is called DeFi. DeFi is short for decentralized finance. This is how you take control. This is how you put the reins of power back in your own hands. Because when you place your money in the bank, ladies and gentlemen, it is no longer yours, it is theirs. Which is why they can legally do a bail-in and take your money if they want to, and there's not a thing you can do about it. If you go to the bank and there's a chain on the door, who are you going to call? You can't even call Ghostbusters. So with that, you're also going to need a place in order to get your crypto so that you now have the opportunity, and you've got less than 5 years left. Okay, because in 5 years, it's going to be all about blockchain, AI, and AI agents. And if you don't know about any of those things, you're going to be left not even holding a bag, because you're going to lose your bag. Okay. I'm trying to get you guys to desperately understand, for the love of God, please listen, because your eyes are deceiving you. And we're going to go on and I'm going to tell you about, you need to get Uphold. Okay. Because when you place your assets on Uphold, even your USD, your digital fiat, you know, they do not loan your money out like your bank does. When you put your money in the bank, they loan your money out, which is why they don't have your money if you go to get some, especially if it's a substantial amount. If you want to go and get $15,000 out of your account, they are going to make it very difficult for you to get that money, and you probably won't even get it that day. You might have to come back next week, you know. And it's like the Federal Reserve, which is the central bank of the United States. And that is a misnomer, because the Federal Reserve is a definite misnomer, because they are not federal and they do not have any reserves. They print the money out of thin air. It is not backed by anything. This is what you must understand. So you have this rare opportunity now to take your fiat, which is not worth anything, really. It just has some purchasing power. It's not even actually money. You know, if you have money in the bank or money in your pocket, what does your dollar say? It says this dollar is legal tender for all debts, public and private. So that means you actually don't have any money. What you're holding in your pocket in dollars or in the bank is you actually have IOUs. That's why it's debt. It is not money. It's an IOU that the government promises to pay at some point. But as I just showed you, this national debt isn't going anywhere, and it can't possibly be paid off. It's going to have to be deferred, ladies and gentlemen. So there's going to be two systems. There's going to be this fiat system, and then there's going to be the blockchain system. Those who remain in perpetual poverty will use this system, because this is the system of depreciating assets, as you can clearly see. The blockchain will be primarily comprised of appreciating assets. This is what the K-shaped economy is all about, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, down in the description below, ladies and gentlemen, I will give you a referral link for Uphold, MEXC, KRAKEN, and even Kinesis money if you want to or should want to invest in tokenized gold and silver, which is redeemable for physical gold and silver, ladies and gentlemen. They even give you your own financial advisor. Also, take a look at this guy over here. This is Cape, and this is the phone service that I'm using to protect against SIM swapping, ladies and gentlemen, because if you get SIM swapped, there is literally nothing you can do and no one you can call, because the person that has SIM swapped you has now taken over your bank account. They have taken over your social security number. They have gone into your emails. They have taken over. They have changed all of your passwords, and your phone doesn't even work because now your phone account is under someone else's control. So you can't even call anybody because your phone account belongs to someone else. And then you're going to have to desperately run around and try and convince all of these institutions that you are you, while somebody pretending to be you is robbing you blind in real time. Please don't let that happen to you. Please get the Cape service. My referral link for the Cape service will be down below. And Cape does not have any information on you. They do not know your name. They do not know your address. They do not know your social security number. So if the government ever goes to them and say, hey, we need information on this guy, they're going to say, well, we don't know what you're talking about because we don't have any names and we don't have any information. And you can leave Cape anytime you want, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And it also has geo fencing, where you can literally place a mesh over your GPS location. You can change your IMEI number anytime you want. That's why I call this my Ghost Protocol phone, ladies and gentlemen. So no names, no SIM swapping, no nothing. And if you're like me, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a digital asset portfolio manager, I can't afford to be hacked, ladies and gentlemen. I can't afford for somebody to SIM swap me and take control of all of my accounts that I work so very, very hard to maintain and build, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, let's build on something else that you're going to need. And as you can see right here, we've got CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, ladies and gentlemen. And if we go over here to CoinGecko, it's pretty much going to let us know the who's who in the crypto world. And Bitcoin is number one at the top, or BTC, I should say, what the world believes is Bitcoin. Because if you guys been on my channel, you know that we know and understand that BTC is not the original Bitcoin protocol. It is a modification that happened in 2017, but we're not going to go there right now. We're just going to go with the cover story for right now, okay? We're not going to get into all of that right now. But anyway, let's just go with the cover story, not the actual story. Bitcoin, BTC is at the top, okay? And you have many, 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 many coins here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what I am going to show you guys today is I'm going to show you guys how to get involved with real world assets that have actual utility, that are actually generating money as a business. They just aren't, relying on a community of people, who are holding hands across America and singing Kumbaya and saying, we're all gonna make it. No, we're not all gonna make it. Most of us will not make it, ladies and gentlemen, because there are a lot of Ponzi schemes, there are a lot of scams, and there are a lot of people that will dump on your head, ladies, and use you as exit liquidity and not care whatsoever. Because I've tried that my first couple of years in investing. I tried to be part of communities and, hold hands around the campfire and sing Kumbaya and we're all gonna make it. No, we're not. Okay? What you have to do is you have to learn how to become your own bank. You have to learn how to become your own hedge fund, ladies and gentlemen. You have to learn how to become your own international monetary fund, meaning I could pay anyone in stellar lumens. I could pay them in Bitcoin. I could pay them in XRP. I could pay them in whatever they want to be paid in. I definitely don't want to pay anybody in fiat, because once I pay somebody in fiat and I exit the cryptoverse, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm facing capital gains tax, and we don't want to do that. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at becoming more minimalistic. Okay, this is what I have done. I have become more minimalistic, and I am indeed making substantial advances even in this bear market, ladies and gentlemen. If you take a look at all this stuff down here, you see a whole lot of red going on, ladies and gentlemen. And there's a whole lot of red going on for a reason, because the market is primarily down now. So what we want to look at is, we understand that Wall Street is the sole controller rock and roller. Next up comes Bitcoin. Wall Street controls Bitcoin, and Bitcoin controls the altcoins. Why do we call them altcoins? If you don't know, it's because it's an alternative to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is not crypto, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you need to understand that there is no quantum threat for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is not crypto. There's no cryptography to break, because there isn't any. All right? The only place cryptography takes place is in the mining process of producing the Bitcoin. But Bitcoin itself doesn't have any cryptography. This is why it's important for you to understand that Bitcoin is not crypto. Okay, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go and we're going to take a look at the things that have decoupled from the Wall Street Bitcoin influence and are marching to the tune of their own beat, because they are money-making powerhouses, ladies and gentlemen. And first up on the list, of course, is none other than Hyperliquid. If you don't have Hyperliquid in your portfolio, all I can say is, what in the world are you doing? All right, you need Hyperliquid in your portfolio, and it's even better if you're using it to trade perpetuals, if you understand what that is, so that you can access Wall Street and indices, and 24 hours a day. You don't have to go by Wall Street's 9 to 5 and closed on the weekends, where if you see that oil, because the Strait of Hormuz is closed again, because certain people won't stop bombing people, no matter how many times Trump says, please don't do that. We're gonna do it anyway. All right. And because of that, the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, and the people that control the Strait of Hormuz remain in control, because you got to remember, these are people that fought the Romans for 300 years. You think they're not ready for you? Are you kidding me? Understand what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. Do not look with your eyes, because if you look with your eyes will deceive you. Just like if you look outside and you see the sunlight, you think you're looking at the sunlight. I guarantee you are not, because the sun is 93 million miles away, and the light coming from the sun is 186,000 miles per second. So by the time you see the light in front of your eyes, it was gone 8 minutes and 20 seconds ago. And this is why people will die, because they are looking with their eyes. They are not looking with the scientific method of the actuality of the reality. Understand what I'm saying to you, please. For the love of God, save yourself. So we're looking at Hyperliquid, ladies and gentlemen. If we look at the info, we see that the market cap is 12,775 million. And it's ironic because, like, I just looked at this like an hour ago, and it was 12,500 or 600 million. It just jumped up another couple of 100 million, before I made this video, because it is a money-making powerhouse. And not only that, but the team uses the profits of Hyperliquid to buy back the token, ladies and gentlemen. And it is that knowledge that has people actually producing businesses like Hyperliquid Strategies, which is a company, a digital asset treasury company known as a DAT, DAT, Digital Asset Treasury Company, where you can buy shares in the company if you want indirect exposure to Hyperliquid, because they're going to take your money and they're going to buy more Hyperliquid. So the same way Michael Saylor stacks Bitcoin and buys as many Bitcoin as he can get his hands on, you can even use his stretch, giving you 11.5%, where you give Michael Saylor your money and he uses it to buy more Bitcoin, and he gives you 11.5% a year, which is actually astronomical, because I told you guys about the law of 72, where if you're a millionaire, if you're an accredited investor and a qualified purchaser, if you have all of those credentials, then the firms will offer you 12% on your money, which means they will double your money in 7.2 years. Okay? Michael Saylor is offering that to the average person, giving you 11.5% if you give him your money so that he can buy some more Bitcoin. Hyperliquid Strategies is doing something similar. I don't know what their APR or whatever is, because I am using Hyperliquid directly. I'm not doing ETFs or anything like that, because I am my own digital asset treasury company. Okay, so and this is what I'm doing. All right, and we're gonna take a look at one other thing before I let you guys go, and that of course is none other than something that people refuse to look at. It scares the XRP army to the core of their soul, and nobody knows more about XRP than me. I'm the guy that put you on. I'm the guy that showed you how to get on the XRP ledger. I'm the guy that showed you how to set up a trust line. I'm the guy that showed you how to go on AMMs. I am the guy that showed you how to create an account. I'm the guy that showed you how to get rid of your account. I showed you all of these things. I went through the 4-year battle with Gary Gensler as the SEC attacked Ripple, the company Ripple. I'm the one who told you about Jed McCaleb. I'm the one who told you about Arthur Brito. I'm the one that told you about Chris Larson. I'm the one that told you about Monica Long. I'm the one that told you about David Schwartz. So don't you dare tell me that I don't understand XRP. I am an original member of the XRP army, and I'm here to tell you the facts. And the fact is that you guys need to widen your vision. Canton walked in the door in November of last year after 10 years in the making. They walked through the door with their own $10 trillion. They did more in one day than XRP did in 14 years. Understand that the DTCC, Blackstone, BlackRock, Wisdom Tree, Franklin Templeton, they all went to digital assets, the people that make the Canton Network, and they told them what they needed. They were 10 years in the making, and when they finally launched, this is the mechanism where all tokenization will happen. Sure, some will spill out into stellar lumens. Sure, some will spill out here and there, maybe even into H-bar. But for the most part, most part, the tokenization of all assets coming on chain will happen through the Canton Network, ladies and gentlemen. Matter of fact, they have so much liquidity, they don't need you. Matter of fact, you can't buy their coin outright. That's how much they don't need your money. You can't buy their token directly. Understand me. I know and understand everything that I am saying. Listen to me. I am giving you actual facts. I understand every corpuscle of what I am saying. I don't even sleep anymore. I take naps. I am always in the financial dungeon, and I am here to tell you, listen, You cannot buy their token directly. Oh, I can go in the market and I can buy it. No, you're not listening. You know so much, you don't know anything. Listen to me. You cannot buy the token directly. You can only buy it indirectly because they don't need your money. They already have quadrillions of dollars that they are attempting to put on chain right now. They first walked in the door with 6 trillion, then they added another 4 trillion, and that 4 trillion they are putting on chain in tokenized asset at the rate of $400 billion per day, utilizing the repo markets, also known as repurchasing orders. So it will be to your advantage to learn about the Canton network. It will be even more to your advantage if you buy Canton off the market secondhand. And the place where you can buy it, ladies and gentlemen, primarily on Kraken. Okay? Kraken. Right here. You can also buy it on MEXC. Alright? Uphold, you can buy it, but you can't move it. Alright? You can't move it, ladies and gentlemen, because they don't have the Canton network set up at the time of this video. Hopefully, very soon, they will have the ability to move it. So if you do buy Canton on Uphold, you can't move it. You just be able to hold it right there, and it'll be safe there as well. Like I told you, it is a good custodian. Also, another good custodian, ladies and gentlemen, of course, is Caleb and Brown. All right, Caleb and Brown, your personal crypto brokerage. I have a referral link down in the description below for Caleb and Brown, because as you acquire assets, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to need a place to custody these assets. All right, and you should have your own wallet, and of course that which is in your cash flow, that which you're doing with Hyperliquid and Canton, and you start learning how to provide liquidity so that you can earn transaction fees. Providing liquidity is a very high art, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and you go here, and this is your dedicated guide to trading crypto. Me, I'm not a trader per se, you know, because I'd rather be an investor. There's a difference between a trader and an investor. It's a small difference, but there's a difference, ladies and gentlemen. Ready when you are, 24/7, you know. Start your crypto journey today, all of that good stuff like that. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to leave you with this knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, you should also take a look at what's going on with Claude. They just released Anthropic. They just released their Fable 5, which is the famous or infamous Mythos edition, which is very powerful, which actually found an exploit in Zcash in 24 hours. And everybody started running for the hills because basically it found an exploit where people will be able to mint an immense number of Zcash privately, like nobody would know. Okay. And then, of course, we have Venice AI, which is another privacy AI play. All right. So if we look here at VVV, ladies and gentlemen, you see VVV is doing very well. But along with VVV, they have a second token known as DM, ladies and gentlemen. And DM, of course, pays for people AI services. All right. And this is why DM is it's a little down now, but it usually is an up only type token because it pays for people AI, what they call inferences. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I have pointed you in the right direction. If you have any questions, please, don't hesitate to go down in the comment section below. And once I become aware of your comment, I will address you and I will answer your question, and we can continue to move forward. So with that, remain sovereign, continue to get this crypto so that you can have generational wealth, not only for yourself, but for your children and for your children's children, because we only have 5 years left, ladies and gentlemen. And when that door closes, people will be priced out, and it's going to get to a point where nobody is going to trade your fiat for crypto. Nobody's going to give you an appreciating asset for a depreciating asset. Okay. Next up in the next video, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about stable coins. Stable coins that enter into every market, but primarily as it relates to AI and or compute, and bringing liquidity to the world of compute and AI agents, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, I'm going to leave you with this knowledge, and continue to tune in to learn how to be your own bank and take control of your financial destiny. So let's continue, ladies and gentlemen, to go on and get this crypto.